recommendations to minimize COVID-19 transmission. Case study, a beach. In this video, we will show you how to assess and manage the risk of COVID-19 transmission in a beach. The COVID-19 virus is transmitted via 3 routes, essentially through aerosols, droplets, and to a lesser extent through contact with contaminated surfaces. The level of transmission risk depends on a combination of 5 factors: ventilation, safety distance, use of face mask, exposure time, and relative humidity. The combination of these factors and whether or not they are managed correctly influences the transmission risk level, which can be low, medium, or high. In the next few minutes, we will show you the risk map of a beach and examples of situations where there is a risk of COVID-19 transmission due to the poor management of the 5 factors mentioned. These examples consider droplet and aerosol transmission of the virus, as they are the most common transmission routes and present situations of maximum risk. Furthermore, they will help you learn about the most appropriate preventive measures in terms of ventilation, safety distance, use of face mask, and exposure time. With regards to relative humidity, this should be kept between 40 and 60% in all instances by using air conditioning, humidification, and dehumidification systems. Let us now look at these high-risk situations of COVID-19 transmission and the recommended preventive measures in each case. Risk Node 1, Sand Area. The beaches are open-air spaces where ventilation is guaranteed. However, in the sand area, keeping the safety distance between people is not always possible, especially at times of greater influx, such as weekends and holidays, or when large groups meet. Most users do not wear a face mask at any time, and they stay in for several hours. Recommendations to reduce transmission risk. Define the maximum capacity of the beach. Communicate and control it at the entry points. To do this, consider the dry surface of the beach and the type of users who arrive: large groups, families, couples, etc. Consider their mobility needs through different spaces on the beach, such as food and drink establishments, the shore, passageways, etc. Divide the total area for resting on the sand by plots of at least 4 square meters. Identify them using stakes or another system. Inform users of the maximum capacity and the procedure for assigning plots, avoiding any system that generates crowds at accesses. Encourage users to maintain the safety distance at all times, and to wear at least a hygienic or surgical mask when moving from one space to another. Urge users to reduce the time they spend with users outside their traveling party. Risk Node 2, Shore. As we have said before, ventilation on the beach is assured since this is an open-air space. The shore is very crowded, and many users who want to be on the front line gather there, which prevents them from maintaining the safety distance from walkers and people on the sand. Beach users do not wear face masks, and they spend most of the day there. Recommendations to reduce transmission risk. It is essential to determine the maximum capacity, communicate it, and control access. When determining walking paths, consider sufficient separation between the shore and the first row of users in the sand. This way, people can move without compromising their safety. Taking into account that the safety distance is 2 meters and that people are moving, consider at least 5 meters from the wet area to the first line of the dry area on busy beaches. Also define the maximum number of people that can assemble as a group. Encourage beach users to maintain the safety distance and to wear at least a hygienic or surgical face mask when moving or whenever it is possible to keep the safety distance. Remember that wet face masks provide reduced protection. Urge users to reduce the time they spend with users outside their traveling party. Risk Node 3, bathing area. Ventilation on the beach is assured. In the bathing area, children gather to play, not respecting the safety distance. While they are in the water, they do not wear a face mask, and they spend a large part of the day there. Recommendations to reduce transmission risk. Encourage people to maintain the safety distance in the water and establish appropriate control and enforcement measures. Remember that users should not bathe with a mask. Urge users to reduce the time they spend with users outside their traveling party. The aforementioned measures are aimed at minimizing the risk of droplet and aerosol transmission. With regards to transmission through contact with infected surfaces, facilitate hand sanitizing among staff and users with soap, water, and single-use hand towels. Empty waste baskets daily and keep the facilities in a clean and hygienic condition. This video only shows a summary of the most relevant recommendations for high-risk situations. There is a specific tool available to help you carry out a personalized risk assessment for your establishment. You will be given the most appropriate preventive measures to implement in each case, depending on the result of your risk assessment. We encourage you to learn more about this tool at www.iadb.org/tourism protocols.